All right, so I'm actually really excited about this one. This is sort of the culmination of many weeks working on this project and doing a lot to learn. So this is kind of a really fun portion where I kind of get to show off not only what I've been working on, but I think a fairly clear picture of where we're going. So let's dive in. Let's take a look at this. Let's actually click into the box. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, uh, our ability selector actually states the information on the top left there, so you can see what we're on. These little sort of one-way colliders, we have the ability to fall through them by holding down and pressing the jump button. Good. Let's see. We decided, I decided, whoops, decided to get rid of the double jump. I didn't think it was working out for the game the way I wanted it to, and apparently I'm really bad at video games. Hang on. This actually works way better. There we go. It's actually just trust the system and let it work. So we've moved on to wall jump. So wall jump felt like a better movement mechanic for what I wanted to be able to do. The presence of the hook shot and double jump in the same game really felt like they were occupying the same space design wise. So because I wanted the hook shot to be a thing, the grappling hook to be a thing, I needed to get rid of the double jump because the double jump was too hard to make areas that you couldn't double jump over that you could reasonably hook shot across. So was thinking about what we could do instead, and the wall jump sort of came up, and so that has presented its own design challenges, but yeah, I think it's going to be better in the long run. It's going to give us the ability to kind of traverse in different ways. Hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. So I had to do a lot to figure out how I wanted it to work. Currently it works that you cannot double jump, you cannot wall jump rather on the same plane, so you have to go to an opposite wall. You can't land back on the wall and do it again. But you saw there when I picked up the new ability, it updated immediately. So then that little gold heart pickup will increase your maximum health, and I have it set so that the health bar increases in size when this happens. And you can see here, this is kind of a better representation of bars that you can kind of go right through. But yeah, and then you can tell here we have. Okay, we took some damage there, which is good because that's going to help us explain some things. We're going to go across, and this is our new B enemy. It still needs some work. Obviously, if you just kind of commit to running through it, it tends to miss you. If you kind of stand still, though, it can smack you. So we're just going to take some time to kind of figure out how best to work on it. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the other thing we added in this. So if we drop down here, we can see some new pickups. So for instance, currently it's just the fireball spell that has the mana cost. We can see our blue bar went down. We can pick up, get that refilled. That refills our health. And if we go to our little lightning ball spell, we can see these 3 boars here. We can kill them. Oh, and this time they all drop something. So they have a 33% chance to drop loot. Or I say loot, drop little, pickups. And in this case, it was the red heart pickup and the mana potion pickup. So those are the main 2 like basic things in the game that you're gonna be like getting off of basic enemies to help, kind of top up your health and top up your mana. All of the numerical values currently they're just placeholders. So no idea how many, like currently you can, so I think the fireballs cost like 5, and there's a cooldown to it now too. You can use it 4 times, so it's 20 MP, 5 to shoot a fireball. Probably gonna change that in the future, but for right now, I just felt like I wanted to get something in there so it could be sort of shown. So, yeah, I'm like thrilled with how things are coming along. The fact that we can kind of dynamically go through a lot of the stuff that we're able to add it. The health bars, resizing and everything, I've got that sort of down. It would be nice to kind of like do more of a transition, but I think for a first game project, it's looking really good, and I hope you guys are seeing that as well. So honestly, at this stage of the game, I think we're probably going to be moving on more toward like level prototyping and trying to figure out like, okay, well, how do we want our levels to be set up? Because um, right now, a lot of the mechanics, while they're not set in stone, are at least around enough that we have a good idea of like what things want to be. Um, so I know that, you know, our jump will take us to a certain point, so I know how high, you know, platforms can be. I know basically like how long, you know, what's reasonable to jump over. Um, Obviously this could be a little bit wider, but you know, this is a comfortable jump. But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. A lot of the core systems are kind of in place. Obviously, like we said, things can be changed, but right now everything looks pretty solid, so I can kind of just move on. I guess in some way though, it'd be kind of fun to take a look at how I decided to do some of this stuff. So let's take a look at a lot of like the like the hard pickups and stuff like that. I don't think those are particularly interesting. The UI element I don't think is like super interesting. I guess I closed out the B. Let's grab it. Let's start the B. Um, so the B is probably, yeah, it's it took a little bit to kind of get this little guy going. So we have our vision component. I originally started out with just a sphere. Obviously, that was not going to work out. We only wanted to attack things that are in front of it, especially since it's going to have this sort of downward sweep or swoop that it does. So we wanted to have that kind of come in there. If we come in and take a look at this, let's knock this completely out. So there's obviously a lot to this. I've got two curves. I've got a normal sort of what I call swoop curve, which was originally the curve I was using for the attack was the idea, and all I was going to do was just make the curve very much longer and wider, and then just have it kind of go through a larger swoop, and then come up and reset. But eventually, I discovered that the curve we had looked really nice when it was just kind of just bouncing along in midair, but I didn't think it looked great, or it didn't really work great when it came to trying to make it into an attack. So we made another curve to handle that. It's a much starker, you know, steeper sort of descent, and then try to fly across and then kind of come back up. So that's what we did. Other than that, yeah, it's kind of a lot of this is just sort of it's sort of ready stuff, and then we're going into, you know, it's, you know, if we're not stunned, we're, you know, we're advancing time, and if it's not attacking, it's doing the one curve. If not, it's doing the other, and we kind of move on from there. So it's all pretty basic stuff. If you touch the B, it smacks you for some damage, and you hit it, then it'll fly back. I also, for this, I laid down a bunch of base code. I say bunch of. I laid down everything I could think of that I wanted to be for every monster. I put it under a base monster class that I wrote. So there's some stuff in there. Honestly, a lot of it's not super important, but yeah. So I think honestly the big thing with the B was just kind of using the curves and learning how to use those well things. So you can see here, yeah, we have our various curves. So this is our attack curve that we kind of go through, and then we have sort of our, which I mean they're pretty similar, but yeah, it was it certainly was an interesting one. Kind of figuring some of this stuff out, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun kind of learning this and figuring it all out. And now we go into in some ways the scary part. A few of the weeks that were kind of leading up to this point they felt pretty simple. Like it was just sort of like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to take this tiny piece and I'm going to figure out how to make this one tiny piece work. And then it's like, okay, well, cool. We got this one tiny piece working. Like, now let's kind of add on to it and like iterate and blah, blah, blah. And now we're moving into like, okay, well, we're prototyping levels. And it's like, okay, well, wow, this is like very, very much new territory for me. So I'm excited. And I hope I have something good next week. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.